When I read Quran chapter 3 verse 96, the first house set up for mankind was at Bakkah, my mind lingers on the familiar name Mecca. Yet in the original Arabic, without vowels, Bakkah feels less like a place and more like a riddle. What if it points to something deeper, something hidden in plain sight? I am drawn to the Emadhian word Bukë, meaning bread. Suddenly, the verse transforms. The first house set up for mankind was the one with bread. And in this subtle shift, I see the mother's womb, the first home of nourishment and safety. Here is life's original sanctuary, a quiet, intimate place of divine provision. The sacred exists not only in stone and ritual, but in the very act of being fed, of being nurtured. Numbers 2 speak in their own secret language. A baby feeds 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 9 months. Reduce it, 6, 7, and 9. Expand it, 679. Expand it further, 38,641. This extraordinary number combines the chapters and verses of the Bible and the Quran, a hidden gem, a subtle sign of unity between the two scriptures, echoing the shared line of Abraham. These are the gems I chase, threads woven delicately into scripture, revealing divine presence, like the prophecy of Mary and Jesus in Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14, or Muhammad in Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 18 and Matthew chapter 13 verse 44. Small lights in the vastness of revelation, visible only to those willing to look deeply. The first house was more than a building. It was a womb, a place of bread and sustenance, a sanctuary of beginnings. It was numbers, language, history, and spirit all woven together. And if we pay attention, it continues to speak quietly in ways that nourish the mind, the heart, and the soul. The sacred is here, in the simplest acts of care, the quiet spaces of life, the hidden threads that connect people, stories, and faiths across time. The first house, the house of bread, of nourishment, of beginnings, is the eternal sanctuary, ever present for those who are willing to see. A little play on words. Bakkah, when stripped of its vowels, can echo Bukë, meaning bread in Emadhian. And Bukë, read in reverse, becomes Kub, cube, the very form of the Kaaba, the sacred cube in Mecca. Bukë Mecca in Emadhian reads quite literally as bread of Mecca. Even Kaaba reversed, Ha Bukë, softly whispers, eat bread. Now look closer at the word Quran. In Emadhian, it mirrors Qur'an, when you eat. The Quran, the book, becomes Qur'an Bukë, when you eat bread. And what is the Quran called? The Book of Remembrance. So Quran Book, Qur'an Bukë, unfolds as a sacred invitation. When you eat, remember me. Something even more interesting. The first house, chapter 3, verse 96, 41 letters, 10 words, value of 2,895, gives a total of 3,046. 3 plus 46 equals 49. Same as the house of bread with a value of 490. Just drop the zero. In Hebrew, house of bread gives a value of 490. So does the Arabic. The Arabic can also be read as house of flesh, which makes sense when we're speaking about the womb. A baby feeds 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 9 months. Reduced, 6, 7, and 9. 6 plus 7 plus 9 equals 22, which equals Bukë, what the baby's eating. Let's look at that again. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 9 months. Reduced, 6, 7, and 9. 6 plus 7 plus 9 equals 22. If we take the house of bread, which has a value of 490, and add it to Bukë, 22, we get 512, which equals 8 times 8 times 8. And 888 equals Jesus, Jesus. House of bread has a value of 490. Chapter 3 verse 96 is the 389th verse of the Quran. 389 plus 396 plus 490 equals 1275. The Quran is built on 12,705 digits. 1275. John chapter 1 verse 1 in the Greek, In the beginning was the Word. 1275. The name Isa in the Quran in its natural order gives 51. 51 times the 25 times the name Jesus is mentioned in the Quran. 1275. If we take the word logos, which occurs 3 times in John chapter 1 verse 1, and add it to the Emadhian word fial 3 times, it gives 1275. In Matthew chapter 2 verse 1, we read, "Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem," if we take the Greek words, it gives a value of 2,371. 2 plus 371 equals 373, which equals logos, which equals the Word. Going back to Quran chapter 3 verse 96, the first house set up for mankind is at Bakkah, full of blessing and a guidance for the worlds. Chapter 3, verse 96, 41 letters, 10 words with a value of 2,895 gives a total 3,045. Chapter 3 verse 45 in the Quran reads, "When the angel said, O Mary, indeed Allah gives you good news of a word, logos, from him, whose name will be the Messiah, Jesus, the son of Mary." In John chapter 6 verse 35, Jesus says, "I am the bread of life." The Greek word for bread is the 8th word in the verse and has a value of 671. 8 plus 671 equals 679, which equals 38 plus 641. 38,641 chapters and verses of the Bible and the Quran combined. Look at the chapter and verse number, 6 and 35, or 635, which is the number of the Quran for total chapters and verses, 6,350. Just drop the 0, 635. John chapter 6 verse 35. In the Greek, Jesus said to them, "I am the bread," has a value of 3,703. Drop the 0, 373 equals logos, the Word. Let us take the Greek word for bread, 671, and the Greek word for word, 373. 671 plus 373 equals 1044. Standard, ordinal, and reduced. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim equals 1044. With the symbols of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. We say it before we eat bread, and we say it before we read the divine word.